All right, it's saying we're live. So, hi everybody. This is being broadcast to all the Democratic pages. I'm BJ, and I'm the leader of the Santa Rosa County Democrats. And with me is Christina, who's the president of the Democratic Black Caucus, as well as the Democratic Women's Club for Santa Rosa County. And we are basically coming to you to have a discussion about what's transpired over the last day or so in the midst of our beautiful snowstorm. We also got some news that a special election has been called for us to have representation for House District 3. And House District 3 covers the northern part of Santa Rosa County as well as Navarre. And I think there's a small area of Navarre north of Highway 98 that is also covered in that district. And so I wanted to discuss this with Christina, not only to inform you all of the importance of this election and for us to have representation in Tallahassee, but also how this all came about and what we need to do to prepare for this election. So, Christina, tell us.
Hello, thank you so much for inviting me and let me be here in this space. I am super excited to be here today. You're absolutely right. House District 3 covers Navarre, the northern part of Navarre, all the way to the top of Santa Rosa County, and then even over into Okaloosa County, northern Okaloosa County, excluding an area of Crestview kind of proper, but all that area. So we cross over into two different counties, and our representative used to be Joel Rudman, and Joel Rudman resigned, and we have been waiting and waiting and waiting for DeSantis to call the special election. Um, Before DeSantis, special elections were usually called within 7 days. And DeSantis, just like he did down in Miami, didn't do that. So the ACLU sued, and I was one of two plaintiffs um, on that lawsuit. And so DeSantis has now called the special election. So what that means is that we have 6 days. I know we're in the middle of this crazy snowstorm, but we have 6 days as Democrats to identify somebody to run for the office, and then we have to get 606 valid signatures of petition to be able for that person to be able to get on the ballot. Now, there's another way you can qualify to get on the ballot. You could pay $1,781.82 and pay that fee, and then you wouldn't have to worry about the petitions. But it's super, super, super important. And those petitions are due no later than 5 p.m. on January 29th. And so when we're talking about these 606 petitions, typically you want to get, you know, at least another 200 because some of them are going to be thrown out. You're going to go through and there's just going to be mistakes on them. So you're looking at having to get at least 800 valid petitions to be able to qualify and get that 606 valid petitions. Or again, if somebody wants to pay, the partisan fee is $1,781.82. As far as running for office, the person needs to have lived in Florida at least 2 years. And if you're running as a Democrat, 365 days, you have to have been a Democrat to be able to qualify for the petition. Now, if somebody is running as a no party affiliate, that's a different fee. So, but again, we're here excited for Democrats, and we don't want to give this up to Republicans. We deserve representation. We definitely need Democratic voices in this Republican held legislature. And so, yeah, I'm excited and I am really hoping someone to step up.
So that was a lot of information that I'm so glad you were able to share with everybody. So when we're talking about how this came about. And as you so eloquently described, normally under normal circumstances, although we know politically we are in completely uncharted territory, at least for our generation. Usually, an executive in office would call a special election within a week or so. This lagged and lagged and lagged. We know that Joel Rudman stepped aside and resigned from the Florida legislature, within maybe 6 weeks of him winning the seat, maybe 8 weeks. And so now it's been some time since that special election was announced by the governor. Do you think that the lawsuit had anything to do with him calling this special election?
Oh, 100%. I don't think he would have called it here or for the state Senate seat in Brevard County unless the ACLU had signed on. And so, yeah, we are literally having to sue the governor to do his job, which is just unfathomable. It is just, and it's a travesty. He is playing political games. We saw him do that, like I said, down in Miami and other places. And, when I first saw that, I was like, oh, he just wants to make sure it's not a Democrat. But he has proven he doesn't care whether it's a red district, a blue district. We have to sue him now almost every time to be able to have representation. And there's no reason why we shouldn't have representation going into this critical time period.
And I think what's also extremely important, particularly during this time, is I know people get discouraged because the district has historically, not only leaned Republican, but has been heavily red. But even if a conservative represents this district, that's still a person that we can hold accountable to if they're truly representing, the ideals and representing our district to the fullest and how we expect. And that's for Democrats, Republicans, or NPAs. And so having someone that you can praise when they do something right or hold accountable when they oftentimes, in our opinion, make the wrong choice, that level of democracy, I feel as though is important, don't you think?
Oh, 100%. So, DeSantis has called this special legislative session coming up just at the end of the month. And we don't have a House district representative that we can go and lobby to, that we can call and say, hey, this is our opinion. We don't have anybody to put through any bills saying that, hey, this is something that really matters to us. Our district is not going to be represented. And that's because he didn't do his job as governor, because he decided he wanted to play games. And absolutely, every single time now that this has happened, he's had to be sued to call the special election. He's dragged his feet every single time. That costs us. That costs the people here, whether you're a Republican, a Democrat, that costs us our ability to have a voice, and it shouldn't have.
So there was this, I think either Lachlan Pond or Lachlan Bay. There was some bay that was undergoing a cleaning up restoration. And when I was doing the research, I realized that this was a bill, number one, funded by Biden bucks. So that's a whole nother thing. But Senator Broxton and some representatives were responsible for filing the bill that actually, while the money came from Joe Biden and the Democratic administration from infrastructure money and Build Back Better, in order to get that project done, we still needed a local legislature to bring that funding bill to to Tallahassee in order to get those projects done. So I think it's very important for people to understand how important it is for you to have representation, because that's how you get the things you want to see in your community, is that type of representation. So kudos to you, because I want to be honest, there really did not seem to be that much hoopla about our county just not having anybody to represent us at, at the state level. So for you to take this on in conjunction with the ACLU to say, this is inappropriate and this is not how democracy works, kudos to you for that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate the ACLU for their continuous fight in this struggle. At my core, I'm a voting rights advocate. Whether you're red, blue, green, I don't care. If you are a citizen in this country, you should have fair elections. You should have districts that are drawn properly. You should be able to vote. And so that's who I am, and that's who I am at my core.
Exactly. So now that we have this information, and if you want to go and look it up, it's actually been in Pensacola News Journal. There's articles written about it in WUWF as well, and so you can see that the news has definitely broke that this election will take place. Just remind the viewers again, when is this election? The primary, if there is one, and the
Yes.
general.
Okay, so the primary, it's going to be in conjunction, sorry, I can't speak, in conjunction with our other special election where Gabe Valamont is going to be facing off against whoever wins the Republican primary for the congressional seat. So the primary is going to happen on April 1st, and then that's the actual election day. Okay. And then the general election will be on June 10th. And then, of course, there will be early voting and all of that. That has to get decided by the supervisor of elections and everything. What I would say is to everybody who's seeing this, I don't know if you know, but your vote by mail was canceled at the end of last year. We're going to have a lot of these little special small elections pop up. Please, please, please register to vote by mail. Even if you want to go in person, give yourself another opportunity just in case life kind of lifes, okay? You want to be able to find out about the elections. These are not going to have huge turnouts. You don't want to miss an election. And like I said, life can life. We're not going to have huge, long opportunities to vote. So please, 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 if you are in the sound of my voice, please go on and sign up for vote by mail or call the supervisor of elections office. Ask them, hey, was my vote by mail canceled or is it active? And then that way you can be on the books all the way through 2026 after the governor's election.
I think that's extremely important that you brought that up. And I'm just trying to pull up the website. It's votesantarosa.gov, and there's a tab on the left-hand side of the screen, that says voter information, or on the horizontal bar, it says register to vote, vote by mail, early voting, where do I vote? You just click on vote by mail, fill out your information, and they will send you a ballot. But you can also call the supervisor of elections as well, and I'm going to look that number up. Oh, it says 850-983-1300, and you can actually just
For
call
Santa
and
Rosa
request
County.
one.
Mhm.
That's if you live in
And
Santa
that's for
Rosa County, correct?
Exactly. And then for Okaloosa County, if you just go to Supervisor of Elections, Okaloosa County, you have the same options there. But yeah, definitely looking for somebody to run. Um, you know both of us, and if you don't, please feel free to reach out to us. We would love to help you be able to get on the ballot by whatever resources we have. We want to make sure that we have free, equal, fair representation.
Right. And so, just to reiterate and reemphasize that it's extremely important that you request that ballot, because special elections are not on our radars. They're falling on weird days. We are certainly not expecting to have an election in our electoral muscle memory. And so even if you plan to go in person, at least when you receive that ballot in the mail, it'll be that reminder that you need to, hey, I need to go and vote. Or like you said, life's all the time. And an example of that is at our last meeting, I was discussing about how there were 3 people in my neighborhood that did not vote. And one of those people, when I went to her door, to inquire about what happened, why didn't you vote? We were looking for 100% turnout. And she's like, this is what happened. And she shows me her cast. She's like, I fell on election day and broke my wrist. So that's an example of someone who had the intention to vote, and had she requested a ballot, she would have that the incident of her falling on election day and breaking her wrist would not have curtailed her ability to cast her ballot in the election. So yeah, we say this because we have the experience. Things happen, people. You're driving, you get in an accident, you fall in a grocery store and break your wrist. The kids are late getting out of soccer practice, and up now it's 7 o'clock and the lights are closed. I mean, the lights are off at your polling center. So yeah, these things happen. So it's not to force you to vote through the mail-in process, but it really does serve as a reminder to say, hey, let me keep it on your radar.
100%. And it gives you an opportunity to research the candidates. You get information, sometimes a little bit sooner, not always, but sometimes you get this information a little bit sooner, and you're just able to navigate it a little bit easier. Again, if you like to vote in person, I'm 100% with you, and I want you to vote whatever means makes you the most happy. But just always have that as a backup. Please,
Yeah.
please, please go on to register to vote by mail.
Yeah, and what I do, and I like to hand deliver my ballot, so I still request a ballot, fill it out, put it in the envelope, and then I just hand deliver it. So I actually don't mail in. So I'm one of those people who doesn't mail in their mail-in ballot. I hand deliver it because that's just what I like to do. That's what I'm comfortable doing. And so yeah, we're giving you examples of things that are very relatable to our personal lives. So, so yeah, so while we're here, we might as well just mention that we have a congressional candidate who will not be going through a primary process. Her name's Gay Valamont. She is running for Congress, as you all know, or if you don't know, or if you're under a rock the last time, which is totally understandable. Matt Gaetz vacated the seat that he won in November. And so under some very sketchy circumstances, I may add. And so now we have the opportunity to really have someone who cares about the district and not just cares about being on television, but actually cares about bringing representation of the Panhandle, of the Western Panhandle, bills to the floor that are actually going to make a difference in our area, and not just somebody who's showboating for Fox News, showboating for attention, and partying like a rock star after making speeches on the floor of Congress. So this is a great opportunity to, number one, sign up for vote by mail so that you're reminded of that election, and also help us get the word out about this election. If you didn't toss your Gay Valamont signs, put those signs back on your lawn. I know mine is on my lawn. And if you want to text, if you want to make phone calls, if you want to knock on doors, you can reach out to the Santa Rosa County Democrats. We will certainly put you in touch with the right people to do the thing that you feel comfortable doing. And so, yeah, let's really get out the vote for Gay Valamont, because, like we said, special elections are only about turnout. This is just as a turnout game. We're not worried about persuading people. We don't have the time to persuade them at this point. We just need to turn out the voters, those same voters who marched to the polls and voted for her in November. We need those same people to march out to the polls and vote for her on April 1st.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. Thank you.
All right. Well, this was a quick live, 20 minutes. So just to make sure you all understood, I was like, this will be so much easier than trying to make a video and then editing it after and then worrying about if the color is right and then did I miss something and so I was like, let's just do it live. We're 2 people who can go on camera ready and we know what we're talking about. So I'm glad we did it this way because it saves me a lot of time.
Oh, wonderful. Again, thank you for having me on. Thank you for creating this space and getting the information out out there. You are an incredible leader, and I'm very grateful for all you do for our community.
All right. Well, that's a wrap. And somebody's saying, go, gay, go. And that can mean many different things. And all the things it means, we support. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.